All right, so last one of the week. Here we go. This is lesson 99. The video I'm going to send you with this is that guy who likes to do the problems that are in the book. So I'm going to do the problems that are on the side in the book where you can't quite see them. This part isn't that tough. It really isn't, but there's one new wrinkle at the end. It's not a big deal, but you need to be aware of it. So you got to catch this wrinkle in the last section over there. All right, I rewrote down this problem. This is very similar to the problems that are in example 1. Go ahead and stop it. See if you can do this one right here, and let's see if you get the right thing. All right, so here what you're going to do is just simply cross multiply, just like they have in the example right there. So what we're going to end up with is x times 2x plus 4 equals, oops, wrote that wrong right from the beginning there. We're going to do 2x equals 5 times 2x plus 4, okay? And we're going to get 2x equals 10x plus 20. All right, now, two different ways that we can solve this. This goes back to like the second week of school. We need to get the x's on the same side. You can subtract 10 from both sides, which would give you negative x equals 20. Okay, divide both sides by negative 8, and that will leave you x is equal to negative 5 halves. You also could move the over here, move this x over here, which would get you 0 is equal to 8x plus 20. Then you subtract 20 from both sides, you get negative 20 equals 8x. Divide by 8. And once again, you still get the same answer. X is equal to negative 5 halves right there. So either way you want to do it, just proving again that you can do it either way, but there's the way that one comes out. Okay? Let's try another one like that. Here is x over 3 is equal to 5 over x minus 2. Okay, go ahead, turn it off, and see if you can make this one work for you. All right. Here we go. Once again, we're going to do cross multiplying. X times x minus 2 equals 15. There's cross multiplying. Get x squared minus 2x equals 15. Okay, now the trick here is we're going to subtract 15 from both sides, because look what it gives us. X squared minus 2x minus 15 equals 0. Now that you should recognize. Okay, so from here we get x. What are we going to get from there? What two numbers are going to go in there? Okay, obviously it's going to be, because it's negative, we're going to get a positive and a negative here. Because this is negative, the bigger number will be the negative 1, and the two numbers that fit in here are going to be negative 5 and positive 3. So what can x be here in this case? X can be, since it's going to be equal to 0, this is what, yesterday's homework? Okay, x could be negative 3 from right there, or it could be 5. Now again, you shouldn't write that as an ordered pair, because it's not really an ordered pair. Just that x is equal to negative 3 and x is equal to 5 right there. Okay, does that make sense? All right, let's move on to example number 2. Okay, now in example number 2, I'll write this down here, keep it right in front of my face. 9 over 3x plus 15 over x is equal to 6. Okay? You can go ahead and turn it off and see if you can, or pause it, see if you can go ahead and solve this one. It's really not that tough, actually. All right, so in this case, what we're going to do, you could do the cross multiply, but what we're going to do, you're not multiplying. What we're going to do is we're just going to multiply this side by 3 so that we have a common denominator. Since we're adding, we need that common denominator. So we're going to end up with 9 over 3x plus 45 over 3x is equal to 6. Okay, in this case, we are going to end up with 54 over 3x is equal to 6. We do our reducing there, and we get 18 over x is equal to 6. Okay, now, technically, this is one of, if you guys remember way back, we used to have these curve balls that were here. You probably figure this one out in your head, okay? In other words, what goes, you can go 6 times x is going to give you 18. You could do it this way, where you multiply both sides by x over 1, and you end up with 18 is equal to 6x. There, you can just simply divide by 6, and 3 is equal to x. Right there, there's your answer. Okay, if that makes sense to you, that should work. Okay, so that is example number 2. All right, you ready to go to example number 3? I'm going to give you one just like example number 3 right here. Okay, example number 3. We have 12x plus 15x plus 1 equals 72 over 3x. A little uglier numbers than we've been having to deal with for a long time, but take a look at that one, see if you can solve that and make it work. All right, so I'll tell you what happened to me. I do all these ahead of time. I've got them written down here. And this one kind of threw me for just a little bit because I was missing an obvious thing. It's messed me up because I didn't see something that was right there in front of my face, and I should have seen it right from the beginning. Okay, there's no reducing here. You can't go cross-reduce because you're adding. But guess what? You can reduce here, and I almost missed that. The 3 goes away, becomes a 1. The 72 becomes a 24, and that makes life a whole lot easier because now 1 times x, of course, is x. Now when we get a common denominator, the common denominator is simply going to be x times x plus 1. All right, sorry about that. Phone rang. I always forget to put it on airplane mode before we get going. So while I was on the phone, I went ahead and did a little bit more of this. You should be able to follow along here. Again, we had the common denominator and what we had to multiply on top to get that. Okay, here we had to multiply by x plus 1, so we get 12 times x plus 1. Here we had to multiply by x, and here we just had to multiply by x plus 1. Okay, so now we've got the common denominator. We really don't even need that stuff on the bottom because that's just 1, 1, and 1. When we multiply this out, we get 12x plus 12 plus 15x and 24x plus 24. We combine the like terms. We get 27x plus 12 equals 24x plus 24. We are going to subtract 24x from both sides. And and we get 3x plus 12 is equal to 24. We're going to subtract 12 from both sides, and we get 3x equals 12. Divide by 3, and we get x is equal to 4. Okay, if my head's not in the way, you should be able to see that now. Okay, so that's an example for number 3. Hopefully that all made sense to you. You can look at that, follow that along, and see where we got to that. All right, last one here. Example number 4. Now, it's not really that harder, but there's something new here. This is not something we've dealt with all year. It's not a tough thing, but you need to be aware of it, and it will be on your homework today. They'll probably give you the hint on it. All right, so here's the equation they give you. 3x minus 1 over x plus 3 equals 2x minus 4 over x minus 2. I got it written here because otherwise I have a tendency to write it down wrong. Did you ever notice that? All right. The obvious thing here is we need to have a common denominator. And the common denominator here is going to be x plus 3 and x minus 2. Actually, instead of that, we can just do cross multiplication. We don't need a common denominator. So we can go 3x minus 1 times x minus 2, that's these two, equal x plus 3 times 2x minus 4. That's those two. Okay? Not tough. We go ahead and we multiply this out using FOIL, and we're going to get 3x squared. I got this written down here just faster. Minus x plus 2 is equal to 2x squared minus 4x plus 6x minus 12. Okay? We have to combine the like terms, so we get 3x squared. We got 6 bad guys, another bad guy gives us 7 bad guys plus 2 equals, and over here we got 2x squared, 4 bad guys and 2 good guys, and it'd be plus 2x minus 12. Okay? Now, they tell you in here what to do with this. You might think, oh, I want to factor 2 out of here or see what this comes out to. But they tell you in here, go ahead and subtract this thing. We've done that before. So we go, that's squared. I know. Jalen's going, you forgot the square. You're right, Jalen, I did. Okay, 2x squared plus 2x minus 12. And here we're going to subtract. Okay, so 3 pizzas minus 2 pizzas leaves us 1 pizza. And here's 7 pizzas minus 2 good guys. That's going to give us, because subtracting a negative is the same thing as adding a positive. Here we're just subtracting. Here, subtracting the negative is the same thing as adding a positive. So we're going to end up with plus 14. Okay, does everybody see how we got that? Now, we can simply do this. Okay, we have, because this is positive and yet negative here, we know it's both negative. And what two numbers multiplied will give us 14 and added together give us negative 9. And that's obviously negative 2 and 7. So now watch this. This is where it gets crazy. This is all real easy up to that point. And so we can say that x is equal to 2 and x can be equal to 7, right? All done. Not so fast. Hold your horses on this. Okay, I'm going to leave those there, but I want you to see something. We've had places before where there's 2 correct answers. This one of our answers, even though we did it right, and that is the correct answer up to this point, doesn't mean that everything is going to work. There is a term here called extraneous. One of these guys is a big fat lie, even though it worked out. Okay, so when we go back and we plug in the original equation, we have, I should have saved this, 3x minus 1 over x plus 3 equals 2x minus 4 over x minus 2. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to plug these in. And you know, you've seen in almost all of these that they had you check them. And years ago, I used to always have people do the checking. And I haven't been on you guys about putting it back in and checking it. If you did it right, I just kind of left you alone. But here is where you're going to have to check it. Okay, so let's start with the 7. If I plug the 7 in here, I get 3 times 7 minus 1 over x plus 3 equals 2 times 7 minus 4 over 7 minus 2. Okay, well here I got 21 minus 1 over, forgot to put in the 7 there, 7 plus 3. And here I've got, what, 14 minus 4 over 7 minus 2. Okay, this gives me 20 over 10. Does that equal to 10 over 5? You know what? It does, because it equals to 2 equals 2. So we know 7 works just fine right there, because we just did it. But watch this. Here's where it gets a little crazy, because that 2 that we did there, oh, I want to save that. All right, let's put it back in there. X plus 3, and then the x minus 2. Okay, if I plug in 2, because we figured it out, and yes, it did work down here, okay, but when I plug it in up here, I get 3 times 2 minus 1 over 2 plus 3 equals 2 times 2 minus 4 over 2 minus 2. Now, right away, you should notice we got a problem here. Houston, we got a problem. We have 6 minus 1 over 5, and we have 4 minus 4 over 0. Can this ever happen? This can never happen. Even if we were to finish it, we would get 5 over 5 is equal to 0 over 0, and still we get 1 and 0, and that can't be. Okay, so this term right here is called, let's see if I can spell this thing right here, extraneous. Yes. Okay, even though it works, it doesn't work. Now, giving you one other example, like I know that guy in the video is going to tell you about that. If you're trying area or length, and you got the square root, okay, and you can come up with an answer. It's plus or minus 2. Well, plus 2, yeah, you can measure something out. But unless you're an antimatter or something like that, there is no such thing as the length as negative 2. Okay, that does not exist. That would be an extraneous answer there as well. Okay, so in your homework tonight, okay, you will need to, it should show you. Okay, we're doing page 666. Oh, that's kind of scary right there. Okay, A through F. Oh, I didn't write it down. Oh, wait, here it is right here. 1 through 7 and 15 through 17. We don't want to do just that, so that makes it a little nicer right there. 666 through 667, A through F, 1 through 7, and then 15, 16, 17. You'll like those. Those aren't too terribly hard right there. All right, that's it for Friday. I'll talk to all of you on Monday. We'll talk about, we have one more section we have to do, and then we start preparing for the test. All right, I'm looking forward to talking to everybody on Monday, and we'll be good from there. All right, have a good weekend.